All right, welcome back to Six Pack Cinema. Today is June 1st, 2018. This is the latest installment of Headliners. This week we're talking about a flopping Solo, a composer grudge match, and of course a racist Roseanne tweet that sparked internet wildfire. It's me, Jimmy, and Dave per usual. Let's get into it. All right, there's the awesome intro. All right, this week's box office, the Memorial Day weekend. It should have been, everyone goes out to movies on Memorial Day. Solo, a Star Wars story, opened up $84.4 million for the weekend, but they needed the extra fourth day to make it over 100, which was kind of poor. Deadpool got knocked back.
Hate to interrupt this early,
but you fucking did.
I know, but Memorial Day is actually historically a very bad weekend for movies, and Solo has made more than the last 4 Memorial Day openings in a row.
That would have been sweet to tie in right afterwards.
Okay.
All right.
I have to call you out on your lie.
Okay. So Deadpool 2 got half as much with 43.4. Avengers got 17.2, and the Book Club and Life of the Party hung on the top 5. So I guess it wasn't really the best weekend for movies, even though typically movies do get released Memorial Day weekend. Am I wrong there?
I mean, I'm sure some do. I just was reading a few articles that said Memorial Day is a bad weekend for movies.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. Maybe I'm thinking Labor Day or something else. I don't know.
Maybe.
Perhaps. But regardless, Solo needed the fourth day to cross over the $100 million mark, which was poor showing for their projections. So This is going to go right into the first headline. Solo was might be the first Star Wars film to be considered a flop because it didn't reach the projected numbers Disney had hoped, which were aggressive for an average movie. This was an average movie.
Well, I'm not going to give away my thoughts on it. You should tune into the next episode of Six Pack Cinema where we review it.
Agreed.
But I think the biggest problem they had is, I mean, you all know there was a ton of problems behind the scenes. They fired the directors, brought Ron Howard in, and reports are coming out now that Ron Howard had to reshoot 80% of the movie. And so they ended up doubling the budget for the film, which is
not great.
Yeah, that's why it's like, if it made the $100 million on the original like $60 million budget, that's not bad.
Not at all. But it's the fact that they had to reshoot 80% of it. Why not push it later on? Like, why rush it?
Oh yeah, no. I personally think that they fucked up by releasing it in May. I think for the last 3 years, people have gotten used to like Christmas time is Star Wars time. No other good movies come out around that time. Everyone has work and school off. At least then, we just got a Star Wars movie 5 months ago. I'll say this, I went into it not excited for a Star Wars movie for the first time in my life.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
Jimmy, your thoughts?
I spoke to Brooklyn Nets announcer and Yankee announcer today, and he said that anyone who doesn't enjoy this movie, that's a you problem. Despite all the backlash or the troubles, it was a good movie. So that's all I got.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, tell your best buddies of the Yes Network to listen to our podcast, and we'll either confirm or deny that. Cool.
I mean, you can see
I mean, I have no thoughts on Solo. I didn't know it had any of these issues.
Yeah. Okay. Well, going right into the whole reshoot thing, Paul Bettany, we all know and love him as Vision, right? Right, Jimmy?
No, Jimmy, big comic book guy.
Paul Bettany.
Yep, he was. He got the role in Solo because he just texted Ron Howard. The exact text was, "Have you ever spent long winter evenings wondering why you're not in the Star Wars franchise? I have."
It's a good text. It's a really good text.
I mean, nothing but respectful.
And I love the interview, too. He was like, he had just found out that Ron Howard was taking over for the movie, and he was like, fuck it, I'm good friends with him. I'm going to shoot a text out and see what happens.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he was flying to London to shoot.
I think it's kind of shitty for Michael K. Williams, who was an established actor.
To be fair, he was only recast because he couldn't do the reshoots.
I know, but if you really want to be in the Star Wars franchise, you kind of wiggle room around it, and I think Ron could have worked with him a little bit.
Yeah.
It just seemed like Ron wanted his boy to come in there, and I mean,
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
think
it's
it
little
worked out.
column A, little column B.
It worked out pretty great for him, so I'm not. It's Ron made the right choice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just
All right. We'll talk about Paul Bettany in Monday's episode.
yes, we will.
Want to know how he met his wife, Jennifer Connelly?
I do.
They were on movie American Beauty or something together, and he told her he'd never seen someone as beautiful as her before, or been in the presence of someone as beautiful as her before. Then started playing guitar. So this dude definitely knows how to win over whoever he's trying to win over.
He's a showman.
Yeah.
I always really liked him as Chaucer in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. And that was like the first role I ever remember him being in. Like, I'm sure I saw him in other things, but that was the first time he stood out to me.
Same here.
And he's been one of my favorite actors since then.
But saying that's a huge swing. If you tell a girl that she's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen and start whooping out a guitar, you can be labeled douchebag real quick. So
you have to know. You have to be able to do that. 1% of the guys who do that do it well.
1% of 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so good for him. He's obviously very talented, well-rounded individual. Okay. Next up, we get a composer battle, which I never ever thought this would become like a reality, and I'm obsessed with it. But Danny Elfman versus Hans Zimmer is my favorite ongoing battle of the year that I've only just heard of. Have you heard of him becoming like a mental midget and breaking down and like losing his mind?
Not until you sent me the story today.
It's amazing. For those who don't know, he composed Justice League soundtrack, and obviously that's shit along with the movie. And apparently he just can't handle that. Same guy who did the Mars Attack soundtrack. I figured he's a little bit of a, he could take a little beating. Guess not. So he's trying to bully Alan Silverstreet to quit the Avengers, which is laughable. And he went on a Instagram story rant. I think I need to read some of it. He's very
it's hilarious.
Read up until like he throws up.
Okay. Make sure I get my best best Elfman. Fuck Hans Zimmer, piece of shit. He's a hack. I never fucking touched him. That guy at the Oscars, that wasn't me. That's a lie, a vicious fantasy. I've called him up dozens of times, and he still refuses to admit that there's only one Batman theme. There's only one goddamn Batman theme, and he knows it. Elfman then vomited before continuing his rant. Fuck that pussy bitch. My themes are the best. He's a pussy bitch. His themes are gutter trash. He doesn't even have themes. That's how bad he is, haha. I'll kill the bastard. My fucking life is fucking hell, and it's all his motherfucking fault. I swear, I saw he got nominated at the Oscars for Dunkirk. I have done it better. I'll kill the bastard. End scene.
I mean, I'm looking at Elfman's IMDb, and he doesn't have any movies that I like. He has nothing that I like. It's just the only thing that isn't there as good is that I enjoy Silver Linings Playbook. Never heard of him before. He looks like Elton John.
Okay.
Hans Zimmer has tons of movies I like, so I'm on Hans Zimmer's side.
He's the master. He's second behind John Williams in composers.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even ahead of him.
I wouldn't go that far, but
it's a conversation at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. You can have the argument, but if you choose them or you're wrong.
Okay. Danny Elfman is straight up minor leagues compared to him, though.
No. Danny Elfman is the Kobe to their MJ versus LeBron.
Yeah, no, that's a decent.
It's like a very distant third place.
Yeah, he's notable for sure. I mean, I've heard of him before this because of his, just because of whatever. But hopefully he. I don't think there's no light at the end of his tunnel. I think he's one of those cursed artists who is just going to go nuts and spiral out of control. He's already out of control.
Yeah, the fact he did an Instagram Live or whatever doing all this proves he's already, he's done now.
Oh, yeah. He's toast. So, R.I.P. Danny Elfman. Hans Zimmer will never call you back because you're not worth his time. Agreed? Agreed. All right, the main story from this week that literally everyone's talking about, ABC has canceled Roseanne because she's a racist son of a bitch. Of one tweet. The actual tweet said, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. VJ was some woman she was talking about. Can't remember her
I
full
mean,
name.
it's not like
Valerie
this one
Jackson.
tweet. It's not this one tweet.
Yeah.
Fired. It's her whole entire existence of being a piece of
But
shit.
this is the one that like
This was the. I feel like when they brought the show back, they had to sit down with her, saying, "Hey, you need to fucking stop this stuff." And she was good for the past few months where the show was on, and then she went crazy. Because I don't know if you guys looked in the notes. I threw in the picture a few years ago. She did a photo shoot where she was dressed as Hitler, baking gingerbread men. And then also in 2013, she had to apologize for almost verbatim this same tweet she did this week. So she tweeted racist shit before and had to apologize for it.
This tweet's like she saw a picture of her face and she thought of the comparison and she's like, oh, that actually does kind of look like that's funny. And you know how like comedians say they go to Laugh Factory and like, hey, don't judge me on my stuff here because I'm just throwing it out once to get a reaction. If it's terrible, I won't use it anywhere on the main stage. She's like using Twitter like she's just too dumb to not like send that text in a group chat and be like, what do you guys think about this? My closest allies who won't turn on me. And they will tell you, Roseanne, don't post that. That's too bad. That's very racist. And then Roseanne does it. Like she's too dumb to not have like this system in place for like
absolutely
where to send what. Like you can't just think that, laugh, and then throw it on Twitter right away.
Twitter is the last place you should be thinking out loud.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking out loud.
Yeah. I mean, did you guys watch the show?
I haven't. I watched like a couple episodes when it was originally on. I haven't seen any of the new season.
I watched the first episode of the new season.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You and like 5 million other people. It was surprisingly huge numbers.
Hey, Roseanne back in its day was good. Like the first couple seasons of the original Roseanne was good TV.
See, I don't know. Maybe my perspective is skewed because I remember watching a couple of those episodes when I was younger, just looking at them thinking like, ugh, these people are gross. I don't want to be like, didn't find them enjoyable.
She was always my least favorite part, though. I liked John Goodman and whoever plays her sister-in-law.
Yeah, but
her sister or whatever.
But it was at a time, Sheen, where like all sitcoms were these perfect families and perfect people, like the Cosbys and all the 1950s ones. And Roseanne came and was like, hey, no, white trash people have problems and heart and are nice too. They just kind of like dumpy and live it like shittily. So that's why it was so good. But
I see that, sure.
There was a lot of heart. Like watch the scene where I think it's just called like Dan grabs his jacket because he finds out Jackie, Roseanne's sister, has been beat up by her boyfriend. And Dan is like furious. There's actually one really, really good scene. I didn't mean to go into this, but there's a good scene where as a parent, you can relate to this now, where the girls are being mean to Roseanne and Dan comes in and the girls think that Dan's going to be on like their side. And he's just like, you just made my wife mad. I can't be more disappointed and mad at you. Stay in your bedroom. And he like totally has Roseanne's back and just rips his daughters. And I was like, that's good shit.
That's actually really good. Yep.
Yeah.
Now you make me want to like watch this racist piece of shit.
Go back and watch some old. Don't watch episodes, but like just YouTube the old good scenes of Roseanne. It was a good show. It got shitty, but it was good.
Well, I've heard this season pretty good actually.
But one thing I do know, I know two scenes, and one of them was when John Goodman had a heart attack, which was just
the end of the whole show.
Yeah, but like John Goodman is an amazing actor. Yeah, and I felt like he was like, he's not a guy that should be on network television. He's way better than that.
Yep.
And also one thing that's never left my mind is the fact that they opened up a lunch place and they had like the 6-year-old kid name it the Lunchbox, and I was like, that's the stupidest fucking name, and it stuck with me. It's probably like a one line of the billion lines in the whole show. It just stuck with me, and I can't shake it, and I hated it. So,
I will say I do feel bad for everyone else working on the show because they just lost their line because this one bitch is racist.
They had to have known the risk, though.
Yeah, I did see AMC or ABC, whatever it is thinking of just creating like a brand new show that has the exact same cast and calling it like Roseanne's Family, and she had died.
Yeah, just kill her. That's great.
Well, they finished this season, right? And they just canceled the
Yes.
second season.
Well, this season ended apparently. I haven't watched it, but on like a cliffhanger and a very emotional monologue by John Goodman, and now it's just done.
Weird.
Good.
Well, no, I think she should be out of a job. I just feel bad for everyone else who. works on
The writers, the set workers, everyone. It sucks. It's really it's really shitty on her part because she represents that show, and you can't do that. People are out of work because of her. They changed their life plans for her, and she ruined it. I do love John Goodman breaking his silence and just saying, "I'd rather not say anything because it'll cause more trouble." Just being an absolute professional. Just what we talked about last week. Just don't say anything.
Well, you know, some people are going to tear him apart now for not condemning her. Which is bullshit. No. Like, he's doing the professional, smart thing, but you know there's people who are going to be like, well, you need to renounce racists like that.
I don't think so, because anyone who is gonna like bash him for not like backing like anti-racism or whatever, it's fluff. They say, all right, well, we're upset because you didn't say anything, when there's people who are saying things and defending her, like Jimmy Kimmel, who are getting all the heat. So staying in the background, whether he's right or wrong or in the middle of the line, staying in the background is key. He's doing it. Jimmy Kimmel's a fucking idiot.
Why did Jimmy Kimmel do that, of all people?
No idea. He seems the last person. He seems like someone who'd be very against this kind of thing.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Jimmy Kimmel said that the Roseanne that he knows could use some compassion right about now. Sorry. No.
I don't really get it. I don't really get that.
No. She fucked up.
I don't know. I feel like that's like the same thing, though. Like, anytime these celebrities are friends with someone who has a problematic thing, they defend them, being like, oh, that's not the person I know. Like, the one that pops up in my head is one of the producers on Girls was accused in the Me Too movement, and Lena Dunham attacked the girl, being like, no, my friend would never do that.
Yeah.
Classic Lena.
Fucking bag of milk.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, that was talking Roseanne racism.
Yeah, nice.
That's pretty much it for the headlines this week. You guys have any other ones to talk about? No?
No.
All right, let's move on into trailers. 2 trailers came out this week. Actually, they both came out earlier on, but the newest secondary trailer came out. Which one do you want to talk about first, Dave?
Let's go with yours. Your favorite.
Christopher Robin.
Oh yeah.
All right, Christopher Robin. It's Winnie the Pooh, and the original trailer had like this sad sack Christopher Robin being an adult, having to work the weekend. His family's going away without him. It's just like every like adult nightmare. Actually, I lived this nightmare this weekend when I had to work on Memorial Day, and he's sitting on the bench, and his little childhood toy comes up and starts talking to him again, which is. I mean, you can show me Winnie the Pooh in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to love that voice. That voice is just so soothing. I
fully admit, like, before I saw that first trailer, I didn't realize how much I loved Winnie the Pooh growing up. But the second, because they got the original voice actor back, and the second his voice says, like, oh, bother, hi, Christopher Robin. I get goosebumps and start tearing up, just like so excited to see Winnie the Pooh again.
And then seeing Tigger and Eeyore, they have to go around and collect all the toys. It's like, oh, I lost my friends, and he's like, buddy, you just blew off your family vacation. Now you're gonna go find your toys from like childhood in the woods.
Well,
come on.
I did like too that from this trailer, that looks like that's just the first act.
No, yeah, no, apparently that takes all of 10 minutes, which is cool. Yeah. But
I kind of wish they had kept that a secret, though, because I would have liked going into it thinking that was the whole movie. And then, like, a third into it, it's a whole separate story.
Yeah, I want to know what I'm getting into.
Gone Girl.
What are your thoughts, Jimmy?
Well, I never watched Winnie the Pooh when I was a kid. I only like Eeyore clips on YouTube. He's hilarious. One of the funnier characters in, like, TV history. Christopher Robin hated his dad. Is that what this? Do they get into that?
No. So that was a separate Christopher Robin movie that came out last year. That was like an actual biographical movie. This is a sequel to, like, the Winnie the Pooh cartoons that we all grew up with. That's just set as Christopher Robin's an adult and he rediscovers his friends.
Yeah. Last year's was like the behind the scenes, the writing of it. This one's the story we know.
Oh, I like the behind the scenes stuff more. I don't really like Winnie the Pooh. I never. Where did you watch it? What was Winnie the Pooh on? Was it like VHSs, like Bernstein Bears?
I think it's
It was
PBS.
on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never. I don't think I've ever consumed an episode. But
Oh.
cool. So
See,
yeah,
you take your
movie
bounce
was
around, man. You're missing out.
Well, and
But,
I do love they got like the dopey brother from Everybody Loves Raymond to voice Eeyore in this. And it's so perfect. Yeah.
Perfect voice.
He was in a live action Eeyore in that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about childhood memories. Which, going into the other one, Dave, you want to talk about Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Yes. So the second trailer dropped for Won't You Be My Neighbor, and I literally just got goosebumps saying that sentence. I am so excited for this show, for this documentary on Mr. Rogers and his show. I don't know, something about it. Every time I see that first trailer in the theater, I tear up. He was the epitome of how good a person could be. Like,
way before his time, too.
Oh, yeah. The fact that there was, have you guys ever seen his speech to the Senate?
Yeah, it's an awesome clip. Here's my thing about Mr. Rogers. This movie just looks like every YouTube video I've watched a million times.
Okay.
Well, I think it's all the videos you've watched of the show, but it's all interviews with people who worked with him too, talking about everything he did behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, this second trailer was better than the first. The first trailer made me not even want to see it, and I love like watching Mr. Rogers on YouTube and stuff, but it was just all the clips I had already watched on YouTube in a movie. Like I want to see like footage we've never seen before, like interviews with him we've never seen before. It doesn't seem like this dives deep enough for me. Like
Really?
this is kind of just like, hey, if you're 20 and younger and you don't know who Mr. Rogers is, this is who he is. Because I feel like Dave, don't you feel like you know everything they were to show you?
Part of me agrees with you, but also I feel like everyone is so cynical and pessimistic. Like nowadays, you need to be reminded of who he was and what he stood for sometimes. Even if you know his story, seeing it again on the screen, that's worth something.
Yeah.
I'd be much more interested in a biopic with actors playing him.
That's coming.
Okay, so I'll wait for that because this documentary.
And Tom Hanks is playing him.
Well, perfect. I like documentaries. This just doesn't look like it gives me more than I already have. It looks like someone just went on YouTube and then did like a mash together. Like if you go to Mr. Rogers on YouTube and then search playlists and then play it and watch 3 hours, I bet you watch this movie.
Yeah, I think you won't get any of the interviews though, and I do think that'll be really interesting. I know that the one clip they keep showing is the black guy who was the postman on the show, who they had him like sit in the tub with or sit in the kiddie pool with Mr. Rogers because that was a huge thing in the '60s with black people who weren't allowed in pools and all that. So I think getting those perspectives on it will be very interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I mean, growing up, Mr. Rogers was like my favorite show. I didn't know that he had like tried and failed at other networks, and so getting the behind the scenes of his like story of getting the show on the air. There's a super low budget, super like corny and cheesy show. I'm interested in seeing that. The clips of the show that we've all seen before. Yeah, no, that's cool. I feel like that's just to set the tone for behind the scenes stuff they're going to talk about. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing it. I'm more interested in seeing the biopic with Tom Hanks because that sounds to be amazing. But it looks like a good enough take.
Oh yeah.
Now I was confused by the ending, not with anything of the content, but the last line said it was in theaters only June 8th. Now is that saying it's in theaters only, June 8th, or in theaters only June 8th?
I'm pretty sure it's only, June 8th.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if it has a limited run and isn't in theaters for a long time because documentaries rarely are.
Because if this is a one-day event, that's got appeal written all over it. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I mean, if it is, I'm definitely going to see it. I don't know when it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right. So that's the trailers from this week. Excuse me. Movie releases this weekend. They're all A names, which was kind of cool. Action Point, the new Johnny Knoxville / Jackass movie. We talked about it in text briefly. This looks so much more interesting than it should be. Johnny Knoxville movies where he just throws himself against the wall shouldn't be funny anymore. But since it's tied to an actual like theme park and real life stuff, it's like, oh, this is gonna be great. I don't see how it can fail. You guys?
I disagree with you that Jackass wouldn't be funny on its own anymore. I mean, if Ryan Dunn didn't die, they were going to make 3 more Jackasses. I would have ran to the theater to see them.
I watched the first one like a year ago, and it still holds up.
Jackass,
I don't know.
Jackass 2 is the hardest I've ever laughed in theaters at anything ever. I mean, and part of it is like if a 14-year-old like told me, well, that's stupid, I'd be like, yeah, fine, but I grew up with these dudes from 11 to 20 watching them do dumb shit, and that's, as a boy, that's like hilarious.
Yeah.
I always wanted to try when they put the ladder on the mountain and they're like skiing down on the ladder. For some reason, that always stuck out in my head. I wanted to try that one.
See, the only things I remember were like the gross things they did, like shitting in a toilet in someone's store. Like that to me wasn't that funny. I thought, what?
Yeah, that's like the Danger Aaron shit. He sucked. No one liked him.
Yeah, I hated that shit.
I feel like you need to rewatch it because the fun stuff they did was awesome.
When they put on like makeup and like the whole old people thing, when the stuff when them throwing themselves through walls and like doing off jumps, and that was awesome. But they thought they got too cute.
Take out like the stunts and just tell me the lines that they say. They're funny dudes. Like Chris Pontius is a funny fucking dude.
Yeah, no, he was always my favorite. I hated Bam and the CYK guys or CKY guys. I didn't like that.
Well, Bam was the only one I didn't like. Like I loved Dunn. Dunn was hilarious.
That was good.
Johnny Knoxville is great because you would see, like, watching it back now, you really notice how fucked up they all are. But even in scenes where he's really not fucked up and they're too afraid to do something, he would just run out laughing like a lunatic and do it himself.
Oh, he is insane.
He just legitimately loves the thrill of doing stunts.
Remember in the height of Jackass when Johnny Knoxville was a huge name? I mean, he still is. He's recognizable, but he's not what he used to be. Mm-hmm. And he was in all kinds of movies. Whenever he was doing a movie, he was not allowed to do his Jackass stunts and everything. And as soon as it wrapped and he was free to go, he came running to his friends like, "Let's go! Throw me through something. Let's fucking jump." He was a maniac. He loved doing this shit. And I mean, I respect that. I respect that he's a man of his own craft, and
he did the stunts in Action Point.
I mean, that's the whole appeal of Action Point is that these are just pure stunts without really being stunts. They just did them. There's no safety harnesses.
This is like a porn.
Okay,
like
elaborate.
Take out
Jimmy masturbates to it.
Take out sex, add in stunts, and then put some shitty dialogue and bad acting around it. That's what this movie is.
Wow. Okay.
All right. I do like I was reading up on the actual.
It's not a knock. I'm very excited about it.
No, I can tell. No, I can tell you're excited by it. But
Adventure Park or whatever it was actually called. There's a documentary on it. It's like a wild place. People.
I was reading up on it, and apparently, like, they embellished very little for the movie. It was actually this crazy and this dangerous.
Like people would go on slides and slice open their thighs, like from knee to hip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You have to be crazy to go to that theme park in real life. But of course, if I was alive back then and I was around, I would do it just because I say I did it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, the other one coming out this week is Adrift, which looks to be the most. If I watch this movie, I'm going to have anxiety from start to finish. It's about people who are basically trying to sail away to some island or whatever, and they get caught in a massive, like, perfect storm kind of swells, and he breaks the actual sailor guy breaks everything, so his girlfriend's got to do it. It looks like it might be good, but it looks like a terrible experience for me. I couldn't watch that. No interest. How about you?
Same boat. Like the trailer gave me anxiety too. Same boat.
It could
be a good movie, but I feel like it would be unenjoyable. if that makes sense.
I kind of like Shailene Woodley though.
She looks good in it. Like could be a very strong role for her, but I don't know if I can sit through that because it's just makes me uncomfortable seeing people like lost at sea and drowning. That's like one of my biggest fears. I hate the ocean, and this was just a nightmare for me.
I kind of want to see it.
There you go.
But I know I might get disappointed, like big time. I really like her, and then like I don't think it's a crazy. I kind of like people trapped together movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like you ever see that dumb rom-com where they're snowed in and it's like Zac Efron and.
Unfortunately, not. No.
No, it's not Zac Efron. It's Miles Teller, and he's snowed in at an apartment with a girl. And after it's like a one-night stand, but then they get snowed in and like stuck in the apartment together.
I saw the trailer. That looked like a cute little rom-com.
Like two-night stand, it might be called, or something like that. And it actually like it's like not a good movie, but I like that kind of premise. And this is like that premise plus death. I don't know. I think
that escalates a little bit.
I think I kind of want to see this movie, but I don't think it's going to be
good. Okay. Well, let us know. We may review it at some point. Who knows?
I'm rewatching it right now with the volume down, and like when they're stuck in the boat in the waves, like it's anxiety. Like, I don't want to fucking watch.
Like palm sweaty for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shake it off. The last one coming out is American Animals. I believe we talked about this trailer in our first Headliners episode. It's a true story, like a legitimately true story, and I remember the trailer said like it's not crazy because this isn't based on a true story. This actually happened. Yeah, it's basically a heist for college kids, and they dress up like the most ridiculous old people. And to me, it's got must watch written all over it.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Is this? Well, we can talk about it off there.
No, is this what we're doing next week?
Let's figure out. It's either Action Point or this one.
Which one are we reviewing?
I don't care. We can do either or because I want to do both eventually.
Yeah, I can only do one this weekend, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't care which one we do this weekend. Eventually, when we hit a dry week.
All right, Action Point's heads, American Animals tails. Call it, Jimmy.
Heads.
American Animals.
All right. Cool.
Sounds good. That's the way we do it here.
American Animals. We have a very in-depth process.
Yep. That wasn't even a coin. That was a bottle cap.
I have coins here too. I could have flipped them.
I was gonna flip the popcorn if I had to. I just was gonna reach for something. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up Headliners. We're running to the 30-minute mark, so let's hold off on talking about Evil Genius again. Maybe we should just do later on do a wrap up of our own for that.
Yeah,
it's worth. Right. I want to talk about that one in depth personally.
Oh, I'm very bored with it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not done. I have like 30 minutes left in the last episode.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you're weird. Cool. Okay. Well, so on Monday. All right, Monday. Check us out. We're releasing our solo Star Wars story review. Yeah, check us out on Twitter. We don't really do that much, but check out Instagram where we're more active at Six Pack Cinema. DM us. You can email us too. Just let us know you're out there. Tweet us too. Just tell us when you listen to us. I give a quick shout out because people I do know listen. Peter Parker Stevenson on Instagram. His dog loves our stuff.
Oh yeah, that's that dog account that is always interacting with us, right?
He's awesome, great guy and dog.
All right.
Shout out Peter Parker Stevenson.
Right.
Jimmy,
shout out.
Any last words, Jimmy?
No.
Come on, give me the last word.
Go Yankees.
Oh, boo! The Cubs are winning.
All right, go.